Good morning, friend. Welcome back to my kitchen. My name is Becky if you're new, and today we are going to be tackling, I think, about 4 different projects, plus I'm going to bring you an Azure haul, and we are going to be putting away some of the projects we have already started. So I'm going to go ahead and preheat the oven to 350 degrees because, believe it or not, I have not made any zucchini bread yet this year, and the zucchinis are coming in like crazy. So I want to tackle some of these kind of like smaller projects that are on my to-do list so that tomorrow I can tackle that massive project. And I'm not only going to finish a bunch of projects today, but I want to get myself set up and prepared to tackle tomorrow's huge tomato project. I probably have, I don't know, about 200 pounds of tomatoes that I have that need to be put into jars between what I have sitting, finishing, ripening up on the counter, what I have in my fridge, and what I have in my freezer. So it'll feel good to go into tomorrow with some of these other smaller projects done. So what I have here is butter, and I'm actually going to make some brown butter zucchini bread. I have never made brown butter zucchini bread, but it sounds delicious. So what I need to do is measure out my butter. The recipe that I found online is all in weight measurement, so I have my scale here. And I'm gonna make 2 because I have a friend that needs a little special treat. So I'm gonna bring her one of these loaves of zucchini bread later today. I used to be super intimidated about using a scale to follow recipes in baking, but I have found it's actually easier. So on the stove, I have a pot. I'm gonna get my butter browning. And while that's browning, I'm gonna go ahead and wash all these zucchinis and get all of them shredded up. Because whatever I don't use for today's zucchini bread, I'll put up and we'll use later in the year. I'm gonna set this over here because we're gonna need this scale when we measure out the rest of our ingredients. I can go ahead and put this butter away. And I'm gonna grab my food processor out and we're gonna process the zucchini in the food processor. I think what I'm gonna do is give this beautiful zucchini, well, there's actually gonna be a lot of zucchini bits and pieces that I'm gonna be able to give to my girls. Well, no, this one's kind of tough on the outside. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this one open. And this is going to be just a snack for my chickens to enjoy. One thing that I've really been enjoying, and I wanna kind of do a little bit more of it next year, is growing more food for my girls. My girls don't free range that often, maybe a couple times a week. And so I like to be able to give them fresh produce whenever possible. So this is just gonna be a good snack for them, and the rest of this is gonna be for us. I can hear my butter is browning. I need to get a bowl for all this. I already started a chicken bowl. I'm gonna get this in here. So I got a couple really fun things in my Azure haul. Today's video is sponsored by Azure, so I wanna thank Azure for sponsoring today's video. And we're gonna do some fun projects with some of the goodies that I got in that haul today. We're gonna make 2 different types of ox mills that I'm going to use as Christmas gifts come this Christmas. So I need to get those going now so they'll be ready for Christmas. For this zucchini bread recipe, I need 500 grams of zucchini. So I'm gonna go ahead and just make my zucchini bread in this bowl. I'm gonna go ahead and tear it, and we're just gonna weigh all of our ingredients right in this bowl. My oven just beeped telling me it is preheated, and I will link this recipe down below for you if you wanna try it. Wow, 500 grams is a lot of zucchini. That is amazing. This is a good recipe to use up a lot of zucchini. So what I'm gonna do with the rest of the zucchini, if you watched, I made zucchini flour, which is fantastic, and I freeze dried it. So I'm gonna take this and put it on some freeze dryer trays, and then I'll just throw this in the freezer. And my freeze dryer is actually running right now, so when it's done running, I will go ahead and put those in the freeze dryer when I have enough trays full to run a full load. So let me go ahead and just get the rest of this done. You have seen me now do this once. So once I'm done with this, we will make the rest, or we'll put the rest of our ingredients into our bowl. And you will see me kind of cut away some of the kind of spongy and seedy parts of the zucchini. That is just because it's kind of watery. I don't really want all these big seeds in my things that I'm going to be making with this stuff throughout the year. So I just give that to the chickens. They love it, gives them a little extra nutrients, and we have a better product that I'm putting up to use throughout the winter and spring. I just gave the zucchini scraps to the chickens. I got 2 full trays of zucchini for us. I'm gonna pop this in the freezer. When I have a full load, I will run these in the freeze dryer. I can hear my butter's almost ready. And the last thing I want is for this butter to burn. It's got just a minute longer, so I'm just gonna sit here and watch this until it's brown. Actually, you know what I might do? I think I'm gonna go ahead and label these corn jars. I have already, this is corn relish. I have already washed the jars, but I do need to write corn relish and the year on it. So let me do that while I can watch my butter browning. When you're browning butter, you're browning the milk solids in the butter. It's hard to see because it's so foamy. It's best to do it with a light colored pot like this so you can see, but I can see, let's see if I can stir it away. Yeah, my butter is toasty brown. You see that in there? I don't want that to brown anymore. It'll continue to brown with this hot pot, so I'm gonna actually get this out of the hot pot. And I'm gonna go ahead and put it right into my cold zucchini to cool this butter off. And I just realized you probably shouldn't do that in, there you can really see the brown butter bits. Probably shouldn't do that in a glass bowl. So note to self, next time I do this, get a stainless steel bowl out. Okay, so I'm gonna set that aside. And I'm gonna go ahead and put my food processor away and all of this in the dishwasher before moving on to the next thing. I'm gonna need this cutting board again, so I'm just gonna rinse it off and we'll use it for the pepper project we need to get done. I think at this point I have put up enough zucchini after freeze drying this, because this will be the 3rd round of zucchini. So my goal is to try not to let too many more get too big, and we'll just eat them fresh as they come in from the garden. And then whatever we don't end up eating fresh, I'll probably just give to the chickens or friends and family. Yesterday a friend was over and she went home with 2 perfectly sized zucchinis and a couple tomatoes. This year I have 5 zucchini plants, which seems to be a good number of zucchini plants for me. Last year I had, I think, 12, way too many zucchini plants. Okay, now let's go ahead and finish our zucchini bread. Let me grab out my loaf pans, just to make cleanup easier. So I just had to run out to my garage and grab one of my items for my Azure haul. I will share with you the whole haul, but I need this item for this project. I have been out of spray for a while, so I did go ahead and order a whole a case of 6, and I'm gonna put them down in my pantry and so that I have them on hand. There's definitely a theme to what I picked up, and this is just a hint of what that theme is some avocado spray. So let me get this open. For years, I did not buy oil sprays. I just used a pastry brush and oil, and I still do that when I run out. But I, over the last about 1.5 years, maybe 2, am giving myself the gift of the convenience of spray. So that's why I have it, and it does make my life a little bit easier. So here we go. We are going to go ahead and measure out the rest of our ingredients for our quick bread here. And I'm gonna zero this out so that I can just measure everything into this bowl, and I'm not gonna make a bunch of other dishes dirty, which is fantastic because I'm just gonna weigh everything right in here. The beauty of weighing. I'm just gonna grab my recipe here. So first ingredient is gonna be granulated sugar. And I think I'm gonna have to go get more of this. Maybe not, maybe it'll be the exact amount we need. Not quite. Let me go fill this up. Okay, got our sugar in there. Now we're gonna do the same amount of brown sugar. Now we're gonna put our leavening agents, which is both baking powder, baking soda, our spices, which is gonna be cinnamon, another seasoning or flavoring, vanilla, our salt. I'm gonna go ahead and zero my scale out here, and I'm gonna add my all-purpose flour. And then I don't like to mix on my scale. You all taught me that, so I'm gonna get this off my scale. If this bread tastes anything like it smells, this is gonna be a winner of a recipe. The brown butter smells like nutty and caramely and delicious. Now this recipe does call for a streusel topping. I am gonna leave the streusel topping off. I think it's gonna be just as delicious without it as with it. So what I'm gonna do now is clean up my mess. One thing I desperately need to do is organize these 4 drawers that I have underneath me. But that is a project for another day. I have some ideas. Last time we did a big organizing day, we organized 4 drawers, that drawer and this drawer, and the system is working out perfectly. I've organized these drawers a couple times and this system is not working for me. So what I have learned is that if I can get a system that works, I can keep drawers organized. So I've been putting a lot of thought into what I'm gonna do with these drawers, and I'll bring you all along when I do that, but that is not gonna go bad if I leave it unorganized right now versus some of the other items we're gonna tackle are perishable, so they need to be dealt with today. I have some projects that I wanna tackle outside, but it is raining today all day and tomorrow, and so it's good that we're getting to some of these projects today. And then once the weather dries out, then we can kind of go back outside and tackle those projects. All right, so let me share with you what I got in my Azure haul next so that we can do 2 of the next projects that I need the items in the haul to do. I got my Azure haul set up here and let's go through it. So there's gonna be a lot of fun projects. Let's start right here because we're actually gonna do these projects today. When I had my aunts over when they were in town and we did that garlic themed dinner party, my aunts and my sisters both tried the elderberry oxmel that I made. It was probably 9 months ago now and they loved it. So I thought, hey, I'm gonna make that for them and that is gonna be a Christmas gift. And I'm not only gonna make one, I'm gonna make 2 different varieties. I need enough for me plus 3 other people as gifts, and no, 4 people because I'm gonna give it to my friend too who loved it. And we're going to do a elderberry oxmel, and we'll go into what an oxmel is if you didn't see me make it last time. We're also going to do a ginger turmeric oxmel. So I got 1 pound of ginger, a half a pound of turmeric, 1 pound of dried elderberries, and a pint of honey. I do have some more honey that I can use if I need. So this is what we need for the project. And I need black pepper. So I ran out of black pepper a little bit ago and I had to buy some at the store. So when I went to order my Azure order, I went ahead and did 2 pounds of whole black peppercorns. I need some of this for the oxmel, plus we just need black pepper. An oxmel is an extraction of whatever you want to extract. So we're gonna do the 2 different varieties using apple cider vinegar and honey as the extractor of the goodies. So it needs to sit for a good 6 to 8 weeks. So doing this project now is going to be perfect for Christmas time, because I need it to be able to ship them too, because my aunts and sisters don't live in town. I also got a gallon of not apple cider vinegar, of vanilla extract. I have some of my own vanilla extract brewing right now, but it's not going to be ready anytime soon. And I wanted to go ahead and get a bulk amount so that I can refill the little glass bottle that I got at the store. So that's what that is. This is pure lemon juice, 100% lemon juice. You need bottled lemon juice when you are canning tomatoes. So I got 2 bottles so that we can use it for tomorrow's projects. The coffee was on sale, so I went ahead and got 10 pounds of coffee because this was on sale. And then here, there's kind of a theme for this haul. So not only is it these goodies for the projects we're gonna be doing today, but lots of fun projects come in the future. So I got 5 pounds of chocolate chips, semi-sweet, and 5 pounds of white chocolate chips. Starting in about a month, it is going to be baking season around here. And last time I had a hard time getting my hands on these goodies, so I went ahead and got them right now. I will actually pop both of these just in my freezer, and we will use them when it comes to all sorts of holiday baking projects. I also got 2 pounds of almond flour. We like a dessert that's called banquette, where you make your own almond paste. And I feel like almonds are kind of trending, or almond paste, almond croissant type things. And I have about 4 different almond croissant themed desserts that I want to make. So I went ahead and got this. I'm going to throw this in my freezer along with this. I got thinly sliced almonds. I'm going to use this in some of the desserts we're going to be making, and I'm going to be using this in just like granola and things like that. So those are for Christmas baking. This is also a baking item. This is 100% beef gelatin, and I will use this in making marshmallows and making just different desserts that call for unflavored beef gelatin, and I'm almost out of that, so I needed that. And I think that's all of my baking items, except for, I guess, technically my oil and my olive oil, avocado oil and olive oil could be considered a baking item as well. I am not completely out of either of these, but I'm getting pretty low. So since I was putting an order in, I went ahead and ordered a case of each of these. The one thing with Azure is you do get typically a discount when you order a quantity of 3, 6, or 12. Basically, if you order a case, like this was a case of 6 of these avocado sprays. I know I will go through these before the expiration date. I have an area where I can put them. It's gonna look at the Best By date on here. Oh yeah, January 2026. I will go through 6 of these by then. So I went ahead and ordered 6 of these. And the ingredients in this is just avocado oil. And this is kind of a luxury item for me that I like to use because it just makes baking projects a little bit easier. Now this is kind of a fun thing. This is another project we're gonna be doing together. I have fallen in love with beeswax candles. And especially when I have dinner parties, I like to light these because they smell sweet and delicious. But I was pricing it out, and it is way more affordable to buy beeswax in bulk. So this is a 5 pound bag of beeswax. And I thought it would be fun to try to make our own beeswax candles. This time of year and throughout the fall and winter, I love to have candles going, and beeswax is something that I've just recently fallen in love with because it smells like honey. It's fantastic. Up here I have a beeswax candle, and I'll just light that when I'm in here in the morning or when I'm cooking at night, and it just has a nice sweet scent without any fragrances in it. And I thought maybe I could try making my own candles. So we're gonna attempt this together. I've made soy wax candles before, and it's really easy, so I figured why couldn't I make a beeswax candle? If you went with me thrifting, I was looking for some thrifted, fun little containers, and a lot of you guys said coffee mugs and teacups make a good container, which I hadn't really thought about that before, so I'll probably end up going thrifting, and if I don't end up finding anything thrifting, I'll probably just use a mason jar and we'll make some candles together. The last few items I got are some sunflower oil. I want to try to make some of my own like breaded fried chicken to go in the freezer and then take it out of the freezer frozen, throw it in the air fryer. I like to buy those chicken breasts at Costco, and I thought, maybe I could try making my own. And I don't have any, I thought that maybe I would use this oil to fry it in. I don't know if I've ever bought this before, but I thought I'd give it a try. And then a gallon of red wine vinegar. I go through this a lot. So I have a little bottle in my pantry that's this size, and I will use this to refill it. I actually already used it because I've been making marinated tomatoes and I needed a little bit of vinegar to do that. Organic toasted sesame oil, I was out of this, so I just got a little jar of this. I don't go through this that much, so I don't need to buy it, a big jug of it. And then I hadn't bought this in a while. I got some Nancy's sour cream. This is some delicious sour cream. So I'm gonna go ahead and put all these goodies away. Some of them need to be put away up here. Some of them need to be put away downstairs. I'm completely out of sesame oil, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put this right in my cupboard there. These need to go downstairs. Let me put a pile of different, I'm gonna put these sour creams in my garage. I'm gonna put a pile of things that need to go downstairs. Most of this does, except for what we're gonna be using today for our projects. While I'm putting different things away, I'm gonna go ahead and put away these corn relish jars. And I think I had it up here last time. Last year, I waited until all my canning was done before I started organizing down here, and it got overwhelming. So I'm gonna try to put things away as I finish the projects. We went through all the corn relish last year, so I don't have to try to do first in, first out. It is all brand new. And then I'm going to fill these boxes up with jars and bring those upstairs because we're gonna be filling them with marinara sauce tomorrow. I'm gonna actually have to go behind because I don't want them to break. Josh did put bungees on both the front and backs of these shelves. So my chocolate chips and nuts and my almond flour, because I know I'm not going to be going through all these, within the next little bit, I'm going to use these throughout the holiday season. I'm going to go ahead and just throw the whole bags in my freezer right now, and I'll know where they are. I do have some chocolate chips upstairs, so if, I make cookies or something like that, I have that. But this is more for the candy making and the holiday baking and things, so that's going to go ahead and just go in the freezer. With the oil that I bought, I do want this definitely to be first in, first out because I want to use the oil I already have before I use what I just got. So I'm going to take those oils off the shelf and then I'm going to pop these ones on. So I do almost all of my baking with oil, with avocado oil. Oh my gosh. Whew, that bottle did not break. Scary. That would have been tragic. It would have been a huge mess to clean up and it would have been a huge waste. So I do most of my baking with avocado oil. So that's why this case is bigger. I go through avocado oil a lot more. I probably could have waited a month or so to get this, but I just went ahead and ordered it. I guess I'm glad I ordered it because I only had one more. So I'm going to put the one that I already had right in front. And then I have olive oil. Right now, this time of year, we go through a lot more olive oil because I like to use this as a dressing. We eat a lot more salads. We slice up tomatoes and we just pour a little bit of olive oil on it, a little bit of balsamic vinegar, salt and pepper, and call it delicious. And so we do go through a little bit more of that. Now this is the olive oil that I already had, so I'm going to put those right in front. So we'll use those first. Okay, so that's the oil done. I guess that wasn't all the oil. I've got my sunflower oil, so what I think I'm going to do is pull my potatoes over. I'm going to put my sunflower oil down here so that all my oils are together. And then I'm going to put my avocado spray here as well. And then I'm going to put my red wine vinegar up here with all of my vinegars. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put my coffee away. I have about 2 pounds of coffee upstairs. We make and drink almost all of our coffee at home, so we go through a lot of it. So I'm just gonna stick these right here. I know some people freeze their coffee, some people don't. I don't freeze my coffee. I just keep it in the Mylar bag down here. The new item to me is vanilla, because normally I make my own. And where am I gonna put this? I think I'm just gonna put this up here with all my other 1-gallon jars and my vinegar. All right, so that's everything put away except for the projects upstairs that we're gonna work with. Now I got 2 boxes because I wanna grab some jars from down here so that I can bring them upstairs, run them through the dishwasher, and we can fill them with marinara sauce for winter use because I am completely out of marinara sauce. I already have a lot of pints upstairs, so I'm gonna can a lot of my marinara sauce in pints and a lot of it in quarts. And I'm gonna grab these regular mouth quarts. I'll just run these through the dishwasher. Even if I had these stored like this, I would still run them through the dishwasher. The reason I don't have my jars stored open side down is because they're less stable that way. They're more stable this way. And because I wash my jars every time I use them, or because I wash my jars before I use them every time, I just figured I might as well store them in a way that keeps them a little bit more protected. While I'm down here and we're kind of restocking, I need to restock some items upstairs. I am almost out. I only have about 4 more dishwasher tabs, so I'm gonna grab a couple bags of dishwasher tabs. I'm gonna grab a thing of parchment paper. I know I am basically out of freezer Ziploc bags up there and sandwich bags. Do I have one that's already open? Let's see. Yeah, that one's open, so I'm gonna grab that one instead. And I think I'm almost out of gloves, so I'm gonna grab that as well. So I think I'm gonna have to take 2 trips upstairs. Yeah, so I'm gonna bring this up and then I'll come down for these jars. This is one of the drawers we organized together. We got some organizational systems in place and an anti-slip thing, and it's been working really, really well. It just happens to be basically empty at this point. So I'm gonna go ahead and restock it. I can smell the zucchini bread, so I think it's almost done. I did forget to set a timer, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that in just a second. But I'm gonna get all these restocked. Looks like I need some quart-sized freezer bags as well, so I will grab those when I go downstairs. Again, I know I'll need to in just a minute. Pre-cut parchment paper, one of my other convenient gift to myself items that I like to give myself. It just saves so much time and it's just, I like it. So I invested. My dishwasher tabs. Now I got these from Azure as well, and they're supposed to be a better option. I don't know. I just know that they work and Josh likes them, and if they pass the Josh test, then they are good to go. So these are what they are. I've been using them for probably about a year now. You saw, I don't know exactly when I bought them for the first time. You saw when I bought them for the first time, and I've been using them ever since. Next thing is I'm gonna get a bunch of jars into the dishwasher because I know I'm gonna need more than these jars, but this is just all I need to grab with these boxes. We're gonna get these sanitized. Yeah, that looks perfect. And it smells even better. So these here are cool. I want to go ahead and revisit my list of things that we were going to get done today. So we brought up jars. We're going to need to bring up more jars, so I'm just going to write a list. Bring up more jars. We put the relish downstairs. We're gonna work on the ox smell next. This has been washed really, really well. I'm not even gonna go ahead and peel it or anything because we will eventually strain out the turmeric and ginger. So I'm not gonna peel it, I'm just gonna chop it up just like that. Zucchini bread's out of the oven and the azure hull is put away. So now let's go ahead and make our ox smells. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and start with the ginger and turmeric one. I'm gonna actually do both of them kind of simultaneously. I'm gonna start with the ginger because the ginger is gonna go in both of them. All I'm gonna do is kind of chop up the ginger a little bit just to help the food processor. So I ran these half-gallon jars through the dishwasher last night. I'm gonna get half of my ginger in one jar that I just pulsed. And I'm gonna get the other half of my ginger in here. Ooh, this smells so good. This is what fresh turmeric looks like. If you've ever wondered what it looks like, it grows just like ginger. And this will stain anything, so you have to be careful with this stuff. So the idea and benefit behind these is that they're an immune boosting, kind of antioxidant rich thing to consume. They're kind of like fire cider if you've ever made fire cider, especially this ginger turmeric one, but a little different because they have a lot of honey in them. And I think they're just absolutely delicious. Now, when it comes to especially the elderberry or anytime you're making or consuming any sort of medicinal type product, make sure you talk with your doctor, just because some natural things can actually affect our bodies and interact with our medications if we're taking meds. Elderberry is one of those things that you have to be careful with if you have an autoimmune disease, because it can boost your immune system and you don't necessarily want that. So before you make any sort of natural remedy, just make sure you talk with your doctor and your pharmacist that there's no contraindications when it comes to any of these medicinal items you might be taking. Now, I really just think they taste delicious, and so I like to have them on hand because I think they're delicious. So now I'm gonna chop up, I'm actually gonna go ahead and add to my turmeric root. My hands are a little stained from the turmeric. I don't know, maybe, oh yeah, they're very stained now. I probably should have worn gloves. 30 or maybe 50 black peppercorns into that, so that can kind of be crushed up at the same time as the turmeric. And I'm gonna go ahead and add this to one of my jars. Now, I have made the elderberry one before. I have it in my fridge and it's so good. I've never made this turmeric one. I have bought a turmeric ginger oxmel before, but I've never made it. So we're gonna see together how well it turns out. Oh, I may have just stained my food processor. I'm gonna rinse this out and get this in the dishwasher. I really hope I didn't just stain permanently my food processor. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and clean all of this up, and we are gonna put our finishing touches on this oxmel. So when making this, you wanna make sure you use an apple cider vinegar that is raw with the mother. So that's what I'm gonna be adding to our ginger turmeric one. And I am not really measuring. I have 8 ounces of ginger in here, 8 ounces of turmeric, and about 50 black peppercorns. I put almost that whole bottle of apple cider vinegar in here. This is a 32-ounce jar of apple cider vinegar. And I'm gonna open this honey, and I'm gonna top it off with this raw honey. To my 8 ounces of ginger, I'm gonna add 8 ounces of elderberry, dried elderberry. The rest of this honey. So about half of this jar, which is a quart. And we're gonna top that with apple cider vinegar. The last two things I'm gonna add are a couple Ceylon cinnamon sticks for flavor plus health benefits. I went ahead and put on these leak-proof lids on my jars, and then I washed them off. And now what I'm gonna do is just set these in a dark, cool place for 6 to 9 weeks. And we are gonna see what happens. Again, this is the first time I'm doing it with fresh ginger and turmeric, and I've purchased it before and it's delicious, so I'm hoping I can recreate it. So I have a ½ gallon of this. This is probably, by the time I strain this out, will give me about a quart. And then here I have a ½ gallon of our ginger elderberry cinnamon one. And I had the leftover elderberries and I had a little bit of honey in this jar. So I thought, why don't I just pour the rest of the elderberries in here with honey, apple cider vinegar, and some cinnamon sticks, and just a tiny, tiny bit of ginger that was remaining. And what I'm probably gonna end up doing is mixing these two together when I strain them, because I was thinking this is way more ginger than I put in last time I made it. Last time I made this, I made it in a quart, and I only put in, I think, 4 or 2 tablespoons. So I put way more ginger in here, which is fine because I love ginger. But because I'm gonna be gifting this to my sister and aunts and my friend, I want it to taste a little bit more similar to how I made it before. So I'm gonna mix these two together. I will probably get about a quart worth of oxmel by the time I strain this and package it up. And when it comes time to do that, I will do it with you so you can see how well these turned out. Now, let's go ahead and give our browned butter zucchini bread a try with a little bit of, I'm gonna top it with some more butter because butter and zucchini bread are perfect. It's still a little bit warm, which is gonna be fantastic. Probably should let this cool all the way before cutting into it, but I'm not going to. Oh my goodness, it smells so good. And it's perfectly cooked. A little bit of yummy butter on here. Let's try this browned butter zucchini bread. This is probably one of the best zucchini bread recipes I've ever tried. You probably don't even need the butter on the top. It's so good. Worth the little bit of effort it takes to brown the butter, because you can brown the butter and shred the zucchini and get all the ingredients measured out while the butter is browning. I just happen to need to shred a bunch of zucchini. So you could definitely make this whole recipe in the time it takes just for the butter to brown. So good. So I just peeked at my food processor and I think it's going to be okay. The key, I think, is if you're gonna blend turmeric in your food processor, to get it in the dishwasher and turn it on right away. My hands, on the other hand, are probably gonna take a day or so to get the yellow out of them, but it's okay. We got a couple really good Christmas gifts done and a couple things for my family. I got breakfast meal prepped and I am gonna go drop this off as soon as it cools to a friend's house who needs a little pick-me-up. We not only got these projects done, but we got the pantry restocked, we got the kitchen restocked, and we tried out a new recipe that I think is gonna become a family favorite. So I will link this recipe for the brown butter zucchini bread down below. So if you have a bunch of zucchini or if you just wanna make it, it will be listed down there for you. And if you're interested in Azure, I will link them down there in the description box as well. And I just wanna thank you for taking time out of your day to spend time with me. If you're new or if you've been here before, every single one of you just means so much to me. So thank you for being here. And if you wanna watch some more of my videos, I'll pop them right here. You can go enjoy between now and my next upload. I am going to make a one pot wonder for dinner and I'm bringing you along for a one pot wonder series. So if you are interested in that, stay tuned. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. And I can't wait to see you next time. Bye, friend.